Yo, so let's start things off with Pack a Lunch, right? Now, 5 fights went the distance, but all the fights were good, man. All the fights on the card were a lot of fun. You know, we started off with the lightweight clash between MarQuel, Mederos against Austin Hubbard. And yo, these dudes came to show, right? They weren't fucking around. From the giddy up, they were going at it. But, you know, Mederos, fast, sharp, landing really good shots. Hubbard was trying for takedowns, couldn't get them. And Mederos was just on point. It was a good back and forth fight. But, Mederos just had it. Just had the numbers. It was a split decision, which I don't really think it was a split. Right? The split was a bit, right? It did make you wonder. And it did make you think, oh, please, let's not have a wonky night with the judges, but it did go to Mederos, right? It was 28-29, 29-28, 29-28. So that was our opening fight of the night. The next one was the lightweight clash between Rafa García and Vinc Pichel. Now, Rafa just came out hot, right? Rafa came out hot and was landing really well. Vinc is a dog, right? So he's trying to do his thing, but it was just all about that pressure from García. Now, he did slow down in the last round, but when you consider everything he was putting out there, but again, Vinc continued to look for the win, right? He was down, but didn't give up on himself. And that's why these fights were so fun, because everyone, believed in what they were doing, right? And case in point, right, with the women's strawweight clash, Julia Polastri against Loopy Godinez. In this first round, Loopy picks up Julia and just slams her through the mat. It was vicious, right? And when you think about, I think towards the end of last year, there was that one fight card where there was 2 slam knockouts, literally back to back, right? And the amount of times we've seen dudes knock people out with the slams, I mean, one of the biggest was Matt Hughes against, oh my God, it's a really good fighter, Canadian dude. It was in England, Royal Albert Hall, and Hughes slammed him. Now he was getting choked at the time, so it was one of those. It was so funny because they were both out, and Hughes just woke up first, essentially. But we've seen the men win by slam, and to be fair, that's how. Jesus Christ, my memory is just gone right now. Shorty that knocked out Rose with the slam. Oh my God, Brazilian. My mind's blank. But, she won by slam, but it doesn't happen all the time. And you're surprised Julia was not Sparks, right? Because Loopy just drilled her. This was, Loopy, she was doing really well on the feet, Now, she was getting takedowns. Julia was doing a really good job with her guard, right? With making sure that Loopy couldn't come forward, right? And if you can't come forward, it limits the shots that you can land. It limits your ground and pound, right? You're able, especially if you've got shorter arms, to drop elbows. But Godinez was just really good pressure, right? A really good game plan. Man, she wanted the win so bad. And that performance was, man, it was just a great performance. She really showed out, right? We then had the featherweight clash between Christian Rodriguez and Melquizael Costa. Right, this was it was an interesting one because Rodriguez, like, we know how talented he is, but it seemed he couldn't get out of first gear. Right, now he was getting takedowns, right? But Costa was able to reverse those. Right? He was able to reverse. He was able to just land heavy shots, right? To bring that pressure. Now, in the third round, Rodriguez came out, right? And he really did up the tempo, right? Rodriguez came out hot in that third. And you think maybe if he had come with that level of intensity in the second, he could have, shifted everything. But, even when he came out hot, Costa was still able to continue with his game, right? And that was to good shot selection, heavy control, and that's why Costa gets the win, right? It was unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. And our last fight to go, well, not the last fight to go to the distance, but the last fight in Pack a Lunch, right? It was Jose Daniel Medina. No, it wasn't. Wait, what am I doing? It was Raul Rosa Jr. against Vinc Morales in the Bantamweight division. And when that really did demonstrate the level of talent in the Bantamweight division, right? And especially when, we look and see that just before this, we had David Martinez against Simeon Oliveira. Right? Now, Raul Rosa Jr., this fight, it was kind of crazy, right? Because he looked good at the Sphere, but tonight, he looked bigger. Right? He looked bigger, he looked crisper in his stand-up. Now, obviously, takedowns, the ground, that's a huge strength of his game. But his stand-up, just seeing the improvements was crazy, right? It was crazy. Now, he was getting taken down by Morales, right? And you kind of think, you shouldn't be letting yourself be put in these bad positions as much as you are. Because Morales was going for, like, the anaconda a few times, right? And he had it nearly locked up, right? And if Rosa Jr. was not so good on the ground, I think Morales would have taken out a lot of fighters. But Rosa Jr. was just keeping real calm, which very impressive when you consider the age, right? Keeping real calm and able to escape, right? And once he escaped, it was back to the show, right? He's been applying that pressure, good stand up, right? Just smothering, right? So this fight may have gone to decision, but I think it was a really good showing from Rosa Jr. in what he can do, right? The fact that he can be the nail, not just a hammer, right? That he can stay calm under pressure and fight off a really good submission attempt. So this was a really good fight and a really good win for Raul Rosa Jr. And people, after that, so many finishes, so much fun. So let's get into the rest of the card, shall we?